Hi guys, I'm Ryan Houston and welcome to my fly tying channel. This channel contains hundreds of different videos covering all manner of different patterns, techniques and styles of fly tying. There's something here to suit almost everybody, so hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, let's get on with the show. So guys, this is the fly we're going to be tying tonight. So this is the Glen Lough Blue Daddy. So as you can see, it's a daddy longlegs form of a fly, but in a completely different colour scheme. And this is primarily designed as a loch fly for SEATROUT. So I'm going to take that aside and we will begin tying our fly. So first thing we're going to do is put into the vise one of our hooks. So these are a standard size 10 wet fly hook. Get that in, tighten it up, check that it's in tight. So for this fly I'm going to use a hot orange or red tying thread. Now, this fly doesn't per se have any ribs or anything like that there, but you could use, if you have ribs from a different pack, if you have a bit of pearl, if you have a bit of silver, these would both suit the color scheme of this fly. So what I am going to do is tie it without those, and then we'll show you what the fly can look like if you embellish it with some other bits and bobs that you may have to hand. So at this point I'm going to come back here to around about the point of the hook. I'm not going to come right back because I don't want it to be super long. And we're going to take one of our foam cylinders that we got. These are 2.8mm high density foam, I suppose, and these are in like a tan brown colour. So what I'm going to do, this is square ended, you could trim that if you want, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take a lighter and just singe the end of it. And what that will do, especially if I just give it a little bit of a roll between my finger and thumb, is to give a little bit of a taper at the end. It also gives a slight difference in colour, which I think mimics the back end of a daddy. So what we're going to do is put it in place there and tie it in, but don't pull too tight because you don't want to cut through the foam, and then come forward and then tighten it up at the front, and then as you go back make the laps a little bit looser because as I said, foam can cut through. We then want to take a little bit of varnish, and I'm going to varnish the underside, and I'm going to varnish just the front of those tines. Now I don't want to get the varnish, or certainly if you're using super glue, don't get it anywhere near the foam because foam can react strangely with solvents in your cements, etc. So now we're going to dub the body. So you can dub it free if you want, or you can take a bit of wax. Wax will make it stick a little bit better, so just wax your thread, slide that dubbing up it. That'll sort of help the dubbing to stick to it a little bit as you drag it out, and then start to twist it, and then put on a turn. That'll catch a couple of fibres here, and that will allow you to twist your dubbing rope much tighter. I'm going to wrap forward with this because I have a nice thin dubbing rope. These synthetic dubbins tend to have longish fibres and allow you to do that. So that's giving me a double thickness. It also means it's less likely to slip on me, and that's tight. So that is our supernatural dubbing here in a gentian blue colour. And now we're going to add the legs. So in the pack was this black knotted pheasant tail. So I'm going to take a couple of legs off that side. I'm going to take these back out to the length of the fly. I'm going to put a couple in on that side, and I'm going to take a couple from the opposite side of the feather, and I'm going to tie them in on the opposite side of the fly. And again, I'm tying at full length because daddy long legs are what say on the tin, they've got long legs. So we'll tie that in, and then we'll just even up our tie-in point there, okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to take one of our blue hackles that we got. So these happen to be a blue grizzle, which are also very good as a J substitute if you want to use them in any sort of bumble type pattern. I'm going to double one of these over. I'll try and get you a link for a video on doubling hackles, but if you can't do that, just tie the hackle in whatever way you're used to. Tie it in by the base or tie it in by the tip and just wrap it. And then once it's wrapped, or once it's tied in, we're going to put on our hackle pliers and wrap that forwards. Wrap, roughly touching turns each time, just giving it a little stroke back. I get to the front, just going to take my tying thread across that. Snip it off. And using the tying thread, just build up a little bit of head. So if you keep your heads and all your tying as neat as possible, with as few wraps as possible, then you can actually build it up to make a size. Whereas if everything's crammed to the front and too thick of a tie-in, then it's the materials that are controlling your tying as opposed to you controlling them. So the more control you get over your tying, the better your heads are going to be, as I said, because you will add whatever you want to build them up. It's easier to add. It's impossible to take stuff away and make them smaller if you've already got a pile of stuff wrapped in underneath them. So I'm just going to finish that off. And then to finish that, we just need to varnish it. So we use a little bit of clear varnish. A needle. Notice we just use the vise as a support, and then we work the varnish around until we get it joined into like a blade. And I'm going to just pass that needle through that. That'll clear any of that varnish that's in the eye out, and then I'm just rotating it against my finger, and then my finger ends up with a little bit of varnish on it. Pull that out, and that is the fly tied. So that is our Glen Lough Blue Daddy. So we discussed then the fact that if you had some ribs or flash or something like that, that you could use that to change the thing up slightly. So this is the pack, and I'm just going to show you another version here that I did. You've seen it in the vise at the beginning. So this one I used a little bit of pearl as a butt, and I also used it as the rib for this fly, but you could just as easily have used I have a silver wire that I got in a previous pack as well. You could use that or whatever suits, but that is our Glen Lough Blue Daddy. So hopefully you like the tying, so why not give it a go? And I said you can always play about with the materials once you've tied the actual pack fly.